Hello, I'm Paul Baum and this is Cats Whiskers TV. If you've watched us before, you'll know that before the title there's normally a silly little sketch to set the tone for the rest of the show. But this week I want to do something a little different. You're probably expecting us to make fun of the Steelers and Giants for losing to Edinburgh Fife at the weekend, but we're not going to do that. Look, we're Panthers fans. We know better than most what it's like to lose games that you expect to win. So what I'm trying to say is that we feel the pain of the Giants fans, we feel the pain of the Steelers fans, and we want them to know that we won't laugh at them just because their teams have lost. We're here for them, we feel their pain, and we want to help them through their pits of despair. And I think the best way to do that is for us all to move on, and I think we'll do that now. This is Cats Whiskers TV. Do you reckon we fooled them?
Not a chance.
Nah, me neither. Roll the titles.
Coming up on this week's Cats Whiskers TV, we'll be looking back at a fantastic weekend for the Panthers with victories in Cardiff and the home victory against Hull. We may have a bit of a laugh at the Sheffield Steelers and Belfast Giants' expense, and also it's our monthly awards before we look ahead to a huge game against Belfast Giants at home on Sunday, as well as the away trip to Hull on Saturday. But first, as always, it's Paul Baum with the news.
I'm Paul Baum and this is the news. Sheffield children react angrily to Steelers owners' comments. Paul Thompson refuses to admit his team has a discipline problem. After events at the weekend, Steelers and Giants back bid for new Elite League logo. And that was the news.
We're going to look back at a great weekend for the Panthers. We'll start with Cardiff on Saturday. And I think, it's not been a happy hunting ground for us in the past. So to come back from there with both points, whether it's won in regulation, overtime, penalty shots, whatever, is fantastic.
Oh, it is. We said last week, it was going to be a difficult place to go and get the points. And, you can be slightly disappointed that we didn't win in regulation, but 2 points is 2 points.
And I think it shows a bit of character with the team, because I think they had a huge blow in the week losing Anthony Stewart going back to America. Meant Corey Nielsen had to come back in, probably not match fit, probably physically fit, but he's not played for 19 games. But we still go there and we still do a job.
Yeah, I don't want to, so obviously we're going to talk about Hull in a minute, but I thought, we did miss Stewart a lot in that game, and he's a big set of skates to fill. But these are, like I said last week, these are the places you've got to go and grind out a result. Mm-hmm. And we've gone and done that, and I'm delighted about that. It'd been nice not to give up two short-handed goals, but at the end of the day, we came out with the points.
And I think after all the criticism we've had about playing teams in that conference, back-to-back wins against Coventry and Cardiff, it only bodes well.
Oh, it does. It does. We're hitting form, hopefully. Although sometimes in that whole game it didn't look like we were. But you've just got to beat what's in front of you and keep doing it. If that's what you want to do.
Well, moving on to Sunday, great game, I thought. Interesting game. Because, I personally thought, going one up in 29 seconds, I thought, here we go, we're going to have an avalanche of goals. And they came, but from the Stingrays, and they were fully deserving of it as well.
Oh, they were. They were, especially that first period, maybe even sort of the first half of the game, they were the better side. Yeah. We didn't help ourselves, I don't think. I thought our passing was sloppy. But by the same token, they were jumping on the loose puck time and time again. But the number of times we passed straight to one of their players. I don't know, maybe we want to go back to wearing white shirts at home.
Well, I think I said to Adam at the game, they looked dangerous every time they went forward. You know, they attacked with speed. I thought Matt Davis's goal, their second, was an absolute belter because he was. Everybody thought he was going to pass, and he just belted it in beautifully. I thought there was a question mark over offside for their third, but even said that, it was a really lovely finish by Cloutier.
Really well taken,
and probably a bit of a streaky one for the first, but Hull were full value for that lead at that time.
Yeah, I mean, they were, you know, we went 3-1 down. I thought, this is it. To be honest, game over. I didn't see a way of coming back into it, but we did. And I also have to say, okay, Hull were, you know, played very, very well the first half. I thought as soon as we took the lead, they never looked like they were going to take it back. They looked like a beaten team. And
I think that's a fair point you make, because time and time again this season we've gone behind, but we seem to have that bit in reserve where we can go through the gears, and we absolutely seem to destroy teams in really quick succession. I mean, I think we scored 3 goals in 2 or 3 minutes, belter from Weaver, and an absolute brilliant goal from Bruce Graham. He had hardly anything to aim at and found the net.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Corey Nielsen team. You know, there's always going to be goals there, especially now that people like Graham and Gallivan are finding the net because they've been listening to me telling them what to do, obviously. And but you know, there were goals throughout the team, and you know that's always heartening to see.
I think a word for Stingray's netminder Ben Bounds, because he did get replaced with about 9 minutes to go, and I think that was slightly unfair on him because he faced probably 40 odd shots. Probably wasn't helped too much by his defence, but also made one absolutely incredible save from Robert Lakovic. Yeah,
I mean, it really was a great save, but I think by that point the game was over. We might as well have given him a rest. I tell you who else deserves a mention, David Ling. For the I'd hate him if he played against us. I'd really would. He really is sand in the jockstrap. He's the way you got Sylvain Cloutier wound up, and you could tell Ling was loving doing it. He was in his element. His body language was just, I'm having the time of my life, and he was just far enough back so that Cloutier couldn't get hold of him. That's quality chirping.
Like a skillful version of Ryan Finnerty.
And slightly taller.
Sorry, Ryan.
You're not.
I'm not. So, all in all, I think we can say a cracking 4-point weekend.
Even I can say that, yeah.
And long may it continue. So it would be remiss of us to have a Panthers show and not mention a pretty good Saturday night for us, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we had a good night, didn't we? Yeah.
You certainly did. A few beers.
Yeah, a few too many, if I'm honest.
Yeah. A few laughs at other people's expense.
I'd prefer to call it discussing the fortunes of our rivals, as we do on this show.
I prefer to call it laughing.
Well, yeah, that's what we were doing. Yeah.
So, you know, to be fair play to Fife and Edinburgh. They did us a massive favour.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Huge surprise though.
Well, yes, especially the Edinburgh result.
Yeah.
I mean, Fife's a difficult place to go and play.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I don't think Belfast will be the only people to go there and lose who expect to go and win. Probably us, knowing the way we do things.
Well, no, I mean, I think we are I could be wrong, I often am, but I think we're the only Erdart Conference team that actually hasn't lost at Fife this season.
So far. But you've got to enjoy the moment while it happens, haven't you?
Of course you have.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do the same to us.
Oh, without a doubt, and worse.
But I think more particularly surprising for me about the Sheffield result was they brought in 2 new players, Ferguson, and Finnerty's talking to Frank, who he signed earlier in the week. Hope he's talking loudly because there'll usually be a piece of plexiglass and a penalty box door in the way.
Better now you've got that line.
I do feel better. I've got that in. Been rehearsing.
Yeah. But the thing is, you're giving them excuses. You know, it's new players. Players aren't gelling yet. You know, at the end of the day, they lost. Should have been 3-1 apparently.
Yeah, apparently they had a goal disallowed, Edinburgh. And it was Edinburgh's first away win of the season, just to rub it in that little bit more.
You're so in trouble when you get home.
Yep. Ask me how much I care.
How much do you care?
I don't.
I didn't think you did, no.
Of course, it's still only December.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we were saying about enjoying the moment, and you've got to, but you've also...
Well, we don't get much chance, do we?
Well, no, that's very true. That's why you've got to enjoy it. But there's also in the back of your mind, if anybody's going to slip up, it'll be us.
Well, let's hope not. But a big thank you to Sheffield and Belfast Giants for their generosity at the weekend. Time flies and it's time for the monthly awards yet again. Thanks once again for getting in touch with us to give us your votes via Twitter or our email. The address is on the screen now. And use them at any time if you want to get in touch with the show, ask us any questions, if you'd like to be a guest, if you'd like to take part in students' questions, for anything. So, yeah, the address is on the screen right now. So, first award, slightly different order this month. So we'll start with the Elite League Player of the Month. Mr. Barham, what do you think?
Don't come to me first. Sammy Ryan has got to be he's scoring for fun up in Dundee, and he's that extra ice time we'll be getting him there's really doing him well. I mean, I'd have kept him from last season, but I'm glad to see him, doing what he,
well,
yeah.
Student?
Sammy Ryan again.
Yeah. Why?
Just yeah.
Fair enough. I think Ryan's done well, but I am going to actually go for Paul Bissonnette because I think he has been absolutely stunning for Cardiff since he joined.
Scoring game here, he wasn't.
Well, I wasn't here, so I wasn't here. It didn't happen. So from what I've seen, he scored lots and lots of points. So that's who my vote goes to. However, 2 votes outvote 1, and lots of you voted for Sammy Ryan as well. So this month's Elite Player of the Month is Sammy Ryan. Second award is the Goal of the Month. I'll come to you first again.
Oh, shocking. It's tempting to go for Matthew Myers' goal against Coventry the other week, where Hirsch made the bizarre decision of trying to save it from behind the net. But I think I'm going to have to go with Pat Gallivan against Cardiff, his first, where he cut through the Devils' defence and just shot it past Jose's arm.
Student?
David Ling's goal against Hull, probably just because of the chirping afterwards, and it was a good goal.
Fair enough. I've only been to 2 games since the last awards. I'm actually going to go for Brandon Benedict's goal last night because I thought the actual stick control to take it out mid-air and then beat bounds was superb. So that is my vote. However, the winner, the clear winner, was Bruce Graham's goal against Coventry, the one-on-one, where he put the sort of Forsberg-type deke on Hirsch, and that is our Goal of the Month. Third award is our Moment of the Month. We have 1 or 2 for this. Paul?
K-Wall filling in Didier Mete, it's got to be. Move on. There's no point saying anything else.
Student?
Edinburgh beating Sheffield.
Yeah, he's got a point. He's got a point, the lad has. Obviously, as I've mentioned, I've not been here that much. So, blimey, what am I going to... I think I'll have to go with Ben Bound's save yesterday. Phenomenal. However, you were right. Again, it is our old mate Devon Didier Mete for getting filled in by K-Wall. Mug of the Month. Wow, we always know there's one strong contender for this, every single award. Who are you going for?
I'm going to go for Paul now. Devon Didier Mete. For getting filled in by K-Wall.
Fair enough. Student?
Devon Didier Mete getting filled in by K-Wall.
Well, I've obviously not been around. Have I mentioned that? So However, I heard so much about it, and I did see the highlights on the Elite League show, so I'm actually also going to go for Devon Didiamete for getting filled in by Kay Waller's Mug in the Month. And a lot of people thought like us, because a winner by an absolute landslide is Devon Didiamete.
Again.
Our final award, Panthers Player of the Month. Mr. Baum.
I'm going to go for Pat Gallivan. He's finally listened to what I've been saying about him. And he's come good. He's starting to get in amongst the goals now. And
I think I'm going to have to agree with you, actually. He scored some really good goals. He's a real good team player, I think. Gets a lot of assists, makes a lot of room, and yeah, fair play to him. He's plugged away and he's getting his rewards now. So I'm going to go for Gallivan. A lot of other people went for Gallivan as well. Student.
Ling for his chirping with Cloutier and then the chirping with Lieb against Coventry.
You like David Ling, don't you?
Oh yes.
Well, the winner comes from none of us, actually. The winner of the Panthers Player of the Month, by a long way, is Bruce Graham.
really?
Really. Hey, right. We're not doing students' questions if that's your attitude. We'll do it next week. Yeah, that'll show you. Congratulations, Bruce Graham, Panthers Player of the Month. Looking ahead to the weekend now. Massive game against Belfast on Sunday, but first a trip to the most versatile arena in the Elite League, and Hull.
Yeah, Hull. Versatility, that's the key.
And looking at the way they took us apart in the first period, they've got a pretty versatile team themselves.
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, we've already said that we had a shocker during that first period, but there was some slapdash work. But we've just got to. It's another of those places you've got to go. You've got to grind out a result, and if you win by 1 or you win by 10, you still get 2 points.
And of course, always a difficult place to go.
Well, you never know how it's going to change. It's suddenly change in the middle of a game.
It's like
versatility.
It's like a transformer. But
you could get up and walk away.
In all seriousness, crowd very close to the ice, very hostile atmosphere. If you haven't gone, go. I promise you, you won't regret it.
Yeah,
but
if you do, saves a couple of seats.
Yeah, please.
Near the back.
Yeah.
Otherwise you
Where we
can't
could.
see.
Little. Anyway, enough about that. And Belfast Sunday, they of course had a shocker against Fife on Saturday.
It's a different game.
It's a different game.
Yeah, these are the games that you've got to win. And I know we say that time and time again, whether it's going to Cardiff, it's going to Hull, it's going anywhere. The games you've got to win. You've got to beat the teams that are around you, and if we only do it in on penalty shots or in overtime, then so be it. It's 2 points. It's a point more than they're getting. At the end of the day, they could all be very important points.
Yeah, absolutely. And also Edinburgh coming up on Wednesday night. Now you'd like to think that we should be winning that game, but of course they've gone to Sheffield, they've beaten Sheffield. They've been here and won before. There's no reason why they can't again. They've added a couple of players. They look a much stronger side. It's another potential banana skin.
It is, and they're going to be buoyed by beating Sheffield. Okay, they lost to Belfast the following night, but they've now got that bit of belief that can make all the difference. But the thing with Edinburgh is a lot of the time in the week they don't travel with their full complement of Brits, and I think that hurts them.
One more question before we move on. How important is it that we win against Edinburgh, win against Hull, and carry a momentum of winning 8 games on the bounce into that game against Belfast?
It's essential. Leagues like this are all about momentum. I mean, look at when Sheffield, I think it was a few years ago, they had a string right at the start of the season of home games. Won them all, and nobody got near them for the rest of the season because they got that momentum. And if you lose the odd one here and there, that's going to happen, but you've just got to keep going. And
of course, we're hoping to have new signing Kelsey Wilson in for the weekend. I had a look at his stats. A lot of AHL games. I was quite impressed, and he looks as if he's not frightened to drop the mitts either.
I know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait till I actually see him to make my mind up. But it looks like it could be interesting.
Probably the sort of player we need as well. I mean, I know we've got Guy Lepine, but I think he needs someone to back him up within the forward line, so he can probably concentrate on defence more.
Oh, that's it, and it makes it then harder for the the other team's hard man to have one individual target to pick on. Or the rest of the team go, Lepine's not on the ice, I can do what I like. If Lepine's not on, but that Wilson is. It's just that extra dimension, extra thought in the back of their head.
So, I know you don't normally do this, but prediction for Sunday.
The team that scores the most goals will win.
Yeah, thanks for that. Well, of course, we will be looking back at the weekend's game on next week's show, and also Owen Bradley will be our guest, hopefully with a snazzy Christmas jumper. But until next week, goodbye. I don't know what your problem is. Bruce Graham deserves to be Player of the Month.
You shut up about it, man.
Stop filming! I said stop!